this morning. Welcome to SLC. Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Wake up. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome right here. My soul is welcome here. Hey, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. And your soul is welcome here. Your soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Woo, we acting up today.
All right, I think everyone knows their souls are welcome here, Reverend Deborah. We will carry on from there.
Good morning, Reverend James. It's great to be here, and we greet you in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and of course, the beautiful temples of nature, because we know there's no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, whether you're watching us online or here in person, we especially welcome you, because we know that you are not here by accident. Every single one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're always just so very excited to get together and very grateful that we are able to come together. And of course, that gratitude extends to silencing your electronic devices, and please refrain from flash photography during the service.
Well, we're creating that clearing to connect with that presence, removing anything that obstructs or hinders our realization of our oneness with this, something that's beyond words but is so very real, and is the foundation of everything. This presence is love itself, and peace, and wisdom, and vitality, and vigor, and creativity, and zeal. And all of those qualities we have within each and every one of us. And our task is to simply bring it forth in our life and in our world. And as we do, we anchor a little bit more of heaven, which is ever expanding good, everywhere that we go, so we can say without a doubt that when you see us, you see the same presence that sent us. For this presence and I and all of us are one. And when any of us are lifted up, we all are lifted up, because we are connected on that soul level, that spiritual level. For this and so much more, we're grateful and thankful as we go forth doing our part to expand and radiate and spread the all good. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center as reflected in our mission statement. And I invite you to join in as we affirm it together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry out that mission as we live and embody to the best of our ability these 5 universal principles. Again, let's say them aloud. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action. And now, with some action, we want to acknowledge all those who have September birthdays. If you want to stand, we invite you to please stand. We can acknowledge you and appreciate you. All the September birthdays.
September birthday to... Don't act like it ain't your birthday. Get on up. Yeah. September birthdays. Get up. There you go. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya.
And the other exciting thing that happens on the first Sunday of the month is Shirley Brown makes does the flowers for us for our altar, and we always are very grateful for Shirley's beautiful bouquets.
Yes.
So this Wednesday is kind of a follow-up to the last 4 weeks of discussing abundance, which we have done. And you don't have to have been in those classes to come to this. And I just decided it would be really cool to sit in a talking stick circle and to just tell some story about how you discovered abundance in your life or how abundance works in your life now. And talking stick circles are really kind of fun because you get the stick and you get to talk, and yes, I will time you, but no one else can talk and nobody can make comments about it. You simply say what you need to say, and then you pass the stick to the next person. It's very contemplative, and it leads to a very deep conversation after the fact. So I invite you to join us on Wednesday night, and the community meal is at 6, and the program starts at 7. And then the next Wednesday night is September 13th, and that is World Day of Prayer. And the chaplains will be here, and they have put together a beautiful, beautiful program. So we invite you to join us for that one. And of course, there will also be the community meal before that. So we will see you on Wednesdays.
Okay, and they can put their prayer on the prayer tree in the courtyard, right?
I was supposed to say that at the first service. Okay, time machine. Okay, yes, please put the prayer tree is out by the chaplain's table. Please put your prayers there. We'd like to collect them for a couple of weeks before.
Well, I Light the World Gala is coming. Our Gala is coming. Our Gala is coming. I don't know if anybody knows that movie. I'm somebody. The phone books are here. The phone books are here. I'm somebody. Well, okay. Who is that? Oh, okay. All right. That's another movie. Anyway, our gala is coming up September the 29th, 2023. Our 25th anniversary is also taking place, and you have an opportunity to be a sponsor if you'd like to be a sponsor. My understanding is today's the last day to be a sponsor. Tickets are now available either on the hub or online. We look forward to you being there. We're going to have some food and some fun and some fellowship, so it's going to be a really great experience. And as we do each month, we have a community partner that we share, that we commit and give our support to, who are making a positive contribution to our community. And one of the representatives of our community partner team is Denise Holmes, and she's going to share who the community partner for this month is.
All right. Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the cool weather. As soon as it was September, the weather changed, and my roses are so happy. Anyway, we're honored this month to be giving to a nonprofit called Razak, And our friend Duria Syed, who I'll introduce in a minute, has been friends with us for many, many years. And even Michael Moran, she's still good friends with him. But she heads up our Razak, and they put together care packages for the needy, the homeless, mustard seed school, the youth of wind something, can't remember that one, loaves and fishes, and they give to many, many nonprofits, basically taking care of the food needs of the homeless and the needy. So I'd like to introduce Duria Syed. We're very happy to have her back.
Thank you. Let me go maybe toward the middle here, be in the camera.
Thank you so much. I'm so humbled by this gift of love, because after COVID-19, we haven't done a big fundraiser, and also the inflation is so high that the same package that we used to do for the money, now we have to pour in so much more for each package. We give packages, non-perishable items, to about more than 200 families every month. We do give food to Mustard Seed, but we provide packages to Wind Youth, and also we support loaves and fishes, and all, homeless. So we have we started with less, but then with COVID, we have more homeless packages than we did before, because that's more of a dire need. But just wanted to share a quick story that we literally came out of a dream, because one of 4 women, started a Razak food bank. And one of them saw us in a dream, and she woke up and called 3 of us and said, "You were in my dream, so you have to answer the call." And that's how our food bank started. So it was literally a dream. And we are Dream Team, and we loved serving our Sacramento community. It is such an honor. So thank you so much. And, it's a very humbling experience to be here, and thank you.
Thank you, Duria. And on behalf of Spiritual Life Center, we offer you this check to support the work that you are doing, because like I said in the earlier service, I know you're doing a lot, not only with this organization, but in many other things throughout the community. And thank you so much for your presence.
And of course, we like to remind you that there are many activities that foster transformation in our lives here at Spiritual Life Center. So remember, check out our small groups and the other offerings that we have going on. You can go out in the courtyard, peruse the bulletin board, chat with the ladies at the hub, or you can go to the website and find out all the activities there.
Well, one of the reasons, of course, that we come to a community such as this to connect with other people. It might be at a class, a workshop, a social event, but we never have to wait until those events take place to connect. So we can connect with someone right here, right now. So I invite you in a manner that feels comfortable for you to connect with another person and just say you are marvelous and glad you are here.
Got to bring the spirit in. learned this song as a solo. So I'm all over the place. I'm a mess, okay? I'll tell you that right now. Now listen, confession time. Now look. Y'all watch the monitors and y'all sing it just straight up. Y'all hold that melody down. I can't do it. I'm gonna let y'all do it. I'm gonna be all over the place. Don't look at me. Don't follow me. Just look right up. Right up. See what I'm saying? And then we're gonna get to the end and we're gonna be all coming one in 1 minute. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all ready? Everything that I need to know about what lies before me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. It's available to me through the mind of God within me. Hold that melody down. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me. It's available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need, to do about what lies before me. Everything that I need to do about what lies before me is available to me. It's available to me through the mind of God within me. This way Papa said, everything that I need to release about everything that I need. That's what Papa said, to release about what lies before me is available to me. It's available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to accept about what lies before me. Everything that I need to accept about is available to me. It's available to me through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God within me. Through the mind of God. Y'all holding your notes? Within me.
And now, as we move into the contemplative part of our service, let's embody the words of our vision statement together. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual, we cultivate a spiritual and our planet. Okay.
Be still and know I am God.
As we move into this time of contemplation and inward, let's bring ourselves back into our bodies. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale. And in the next cycle of breaths, gently allow your body to relax. Drop your shoulders. Relax your eyelids. Relax your hands. Relax the bottom of your feet. And now, as you simply breathe naturally, allow your consciousness to float up and away into a light daydream. In this daydream, you are looking at the palm of your hand. You see your fingers, maybe the tips of the fingernails, maybe some little scars or other marks. And you see the lines in your palms. And the longer you gaze at your hand, the more detail you begin to see. Like a zoom lens in a movie scene, you come in closer and closer until the cells in your hand are magnified, and you find yourself surrounded by the millions of cells that make up that one small part of your hand. The cells are full of life and light, and you can feel their energy. You can hear their humming as they live their lives. And choose a cell and zoom right in through the molecules into the atoms that make up this cell. They are active, vibrant, intelligent, conscious. And there is such a deep sense of peace. The energy at this level is beyond description. It is so pure that it feels as if you have fallen directly into the divine, into that inner stillness. As you float and drift in this incredible energy, something interesting happens. The scene changes. And it's like you have turned around and are looking at the whole of creation from the inside. Everywhere around you, atoms and subatomic particles vibrate and shine and hum. They are life itself. They are consciousness. And gently now turn again and begin to zoom out. And you start to see the patterns made by these atoms, the patterns of the world in which you live. Your vision clears, and now you see people, animals, plants, buildings, even the very air, all as magnificent groupings of conscious atoms, all twinkling in the same light and love. You are at once an observer and participant in the divine soup of life. And you experience yourself as you really are, a soul composed of the divine energy we called atoms. You are conscious. You twinkle. In this cosmic dance with the all, you are still within and at peace. And in this peaceful state, you ignite your inner power as you float in the silence. Your inner power is awakened. It vibrates in and through your being. You know that you are an integral piece of a much greater whole that relies on your power to do its part. You are still, you know. With gratitude for this quantum experience, take a breath and slowly zoom out. With each breath, your physical world begins to coalesce to put its skin back on. And as it resolves into your physical environment and you return to awareness, please receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, there is no space that God does not grace. Every particle that creates your universe is imbued with the original divine idea, and your soul is an integral part of that divine idea. There is so much more within you than you realize. When you stand in your divine power, you are infilled with divine love. And as divine love, you become your greatest self. Remember this, always.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment I feel love, I feel love. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love, I feel love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment, I feel love. In the stillness of this moment, I am free, I am free. In the stillness of this moment, I am free, I am free. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I am free, I am love, I am peace. I am, 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 I am free. and peace. I am, 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 I am. I am.
Thank you for that reminder, Carol. And thank you. I'm kind of calling our band R Triple Ds. We've got Russell, Dana, Dominique, Doug. Those things just run through my mind, you know, when I'm just sitting here, you know, get into that space. So thank you guys as well. Yes, yeah, R Triple Ds, yes. And yeah, I'll mention that at the end. Well, when I was in Missouri years ago, and my son Jalen was in the 7th grade, he had a passion for films. He had a passion for filmmaking. I thought he was going to go into that arena, and he may still do that. But at that time, he was creating a documentary for his English class. And it was on the topic of the Lumiere brothers. They were French manufacturers of photography equipment, and they were the early pioneers in doing short films and among the earliest filmmakers. And I remember one day I didn't see him anywhere in the house, and he was in the basement. And I said, what is he up to? So he was in the basement. He was totally immersed in this project. He wasn't concerned about his video games that he would often spend his time doing. He wasn't concerned about eating or watching television. And during this project, he wrote the script. He created the storyboard for it. He gathered the pictures for the footage, and he did the voiceover. He was completely absorbed in the project. And he did this day in and day out each evening, totally oblivious to time. And he entered the project into, I think, a National History Day competition in the state and so forth. But as I look back at that moment that he was immersed in that project, I believe that he was working from the flow of spirit. And of course, we know that spirit is the foundation of everything. You know, in the Bible verse, and the psalmist write in 171, that unless the Lord, which is the great law of life, which is spirit itself, unless the Lord builds the house, they that labor in vain. You know, of course, there's a song of the same name by that I know about, but the talk for today was inspired by the fact that this is Labor Day weekend. And sometimes, I have this inclination to try to come up with a talk that goes with the holiday. I don't know why I do that, because there's often a resistance at the same time because it seems so corny. But I decided to go ahead and go with it today, go with the flow. Plus that song, Unless the Lord Build a House, has just been going on in my mind all week, so I guess I have no choice. You know, of course, when we look at Labor Day, they talk about labor unions and all of that stuff, but oftentimes people will look at Labor Day as a time to rest from work. You know, we're here to rest from our work. We work and we rest from our work. And that's the common belief, that we rest from our work. We put in the energy and the time and exert all of that, and then we rest. But the enlightened have a different perspective. They have a different take on this. They say we should work from our rest. Work from our rest. Because when we do, we work from the flow of spirit and we begin to bear rich fruit. It's illustrated in a Bible story in the Gospel of John, which The Gospel of John, is actually one of the most mystical writings in the Bible, and I'm going to share a little bit about that when I do the Bible class that's coming up at some point. So this is an advertisement for the class that's coming up. But this particular story takes place, right after the resurrection experience. And it shows in the story that the disciples were out fishing, and there was Simon, Peter, and Thomas, and a few of the others were there fishing. And they were fishing all night long. And as they said, they didn't catch any fish, or as we used to say, and they say sometimes down south, they caught nan fish. I don't know if you ever heard that before. So they were fishing and fishing and fishing and laboring in vain, and they got bored, they got tired, and they started to bring the boat back to the shore, and they were proceeding to go to the shore, and they saw Jesus coming. And of course, Jesus was symbolically or metaphorically represents the spirit within each and every one of us. It represents the God presence. And so they recognized this spiritual presence. And it says that the story that the spiritual presence sent them a message, and that they heard the message. And the message was that go back to the boat and throw your net on the right side of the boat and then pull it in. So apparently what happened, they recognized this spiritual presence. They heard the spiritual presence. They did as the spiritual presence guided them. And they went back and they pulled in many, many fish that were not there before. And I think this story represents some of the secret of flowing from the Spirit. First, they recognized the spiritual presence, which I said is the foundation of everything. They made a connection with that presence. And then they went back to doing what they were doing, and they reaped the benefits of the all good. Sometimes I believe that we think, we're here to labor every day. Sometimes we think that when we're in a relationship, we're trying to get love from someone. Sometimes we think we're just working on the projects here that in front of us. And we may be wondering why we're not bearing rich fruit. Because all the time and all the effort we're placing in it have not connected to that spiritual presence first and foremost. You see, on the human plane, we think we're working. We think we're trying to make something happen. We think we're trying to grow our money if that's our focus. We think we're trying to heal our body. We think we're trying to heal the relationships. But we must connect with that spiritual presence first, and then we go back to our project. Then we go back to our work. Then we go back to do what we think we're working on, and we work from that presence. And I believe what we do, we begin to activate a law, what they call the law of least effort. In the Gospel of Matthew, it says, consider the lilies of the field, they spin nor toil not. Yet the God presence takes care of them with what I call an effortless effort. I believe it's this same effortless effort that we can all have operate in our life, where God is seemingly doing everything and it seems like we're doing very little. Now, this doesn't happen often because most of the time, we think we have to do it. Our own might, our own power. But interesting, when I used to go to Silent Unity when I was in ministerial school, they used to have these services. And at the beginning of the service, they would have everyone recite, it is not I, but the Christ within. It's not I, but the Spirit within that does the work. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that truth. In fact, we can say it right now. It is not I, but the Spirit within that does the work. It is not I, but the Spirit within that does the work. I had an opportunity once years ago to have dinner with Maya Angelou, and we were talking, and I was mostly listening, because I was wanting to gather some of her wisdom. But she was talking. We got into this discussion about how, sometimes we have a hard time getting out of the way so this spiritual something can work through us. And I realized I had an insight once when I was working on a challenging project that somehow I felt God had told me to do, and it was really challenging. And I realized at some point I had to tell myself, I can't. This is God's idea. Let God do it. Let God do it. This is God's idea. And I think once I let go of my own understanding, I was feeling and I was sensing a sort of energy taking me over that was greater than myself. It was around me, it was through me. I was yielding to it. I was letting this presence have its way with me. And this thought came through me at that time that I should be doing a whole lot more, that I should be doing something, because I was doing less and less. And it seemed like this presence, this God presence, was doing more and more without any effort on my part. And things were getting done. People were showing up. Got to the point that God was doing everything, and seemingly I was doing nothing. And I was feeling guilty about that because I wasn't doing anything. You know, many people believe that they have to work so hard by the sweat of their brow and personal willpower that they have to do all manner of things in order to survive in the world. But we understand on a physical realm, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So if we try really hard for something on the physical life, we'll sometimes get the opposite. In the mental realm, if we really chase after something, we really feel that we don't have it, and we run after it, we get the opposite. It runs from us. Or something that we do not like, if we try to get rid of it, it persists. What we resist persists. So on the physical and mental level, we get an equal and opposite reaction. So sometimes the harder we work, the harder it is. I think that leads to sometimes the burnout, because we're not connected to that spiritual presence. Because in the spiritual realm, there's only the activity or the omni-activity of God. There is no opposite. There's only one action, and that's the presence of God. Therefore, when we choose that God presence and we work from the flow of that Spirit, we realize we do not have to make it happen. Yes, we have to take efforts. We have to take efforts, but it's not a straining work, but an uplifting energy. That God consciousness, the spiritual power, does the work appointed for us to do. So I think when we stop and we choose the presence of God and work from our rest, we have an enlightened moment. To stop and work from our rest, of course, sounds counterintuitive of what we've mostly been taught. But interesting, Lao Tzu, who's a Chinese philosopher and writer of the Tao Te Ching, said, "He who can perfectly practice inaction, all things are possible." There's a level of inactivity where we pull away from human doing and contemplate a spiritual idea till it moves through us. And he who practices that, everything is possible, because the divine spiritual ideas are everywhere, waiting for a consciousness that's high enough, courageous enough to accept it, to be motivated by it, to be used by these ideas. I think I was reading a while back, Beethoven, he was deaf when he composed what many consider his greatest symphony, the Ninth Symphony. And it had been reported that he had heard the over 1 hour of this long project with a full orchestra and chorus and soloists, seemingly in his head in a very short time. It just kind of appeared. And then, of course, he spent the next 6 years writing it down. That's where the effort came in. But it was like an effortless effort because it was already complete. And I think we're here to do our own part to be co-creative energies with this presence. But I believe that he was working from Spirit. And I believe when we work from the flow of Spirit by first resting in it and feeling whatever is we're working on is already done, we find the pieces coming together almost effortlessly. In our own lives, when we're working from Spirit, we'll walk to places, sometimes unconcerned about a project that we're working on. There will be a person necessary for us to complete it. We may go to places just to hang out, and there will be our answer. When we work from the flow of Spirit, we will find the entire universe will conspire to bring what we need. Sometimes people say, when something happens seemingly miraculous to someone, some excellent project was completed, they say, well, when did you work on that? When did you do that? And, of course, you'll know it was all those hours maybe of getting up early in the morning and connecting with the presence of God through prayer and meditation, feeling and sensing. And then the seeming miracle was already done, and you already knew that. And somebody might say, well, if you're doing things like that, praying, meditating, yeah, she wasted her time. She's still in there praying and meditating and going to them classes and workshops and reading them spiritual books, connecting with the presence, so she says. Doesn't she know it's 8 o'clock? She should be out there beating the bushes, making it happen. She's still in there praying. Doesn't she know the early bird catches the worm? Well, we don't want a worm. We want the kingdom of the Spirit of the living God and the flow of the Spirit to come through us. So understand that when we're affirming that life is good, when we're affirming that all our needs are met, when we're affirming that this body is a fit and vital instrument of pure spirit, when we are affirming everything is working together for our good, then we get in tune with this entire universe that is operating to fulfill itself through us. And there's a moment, and you and I feel that connection. We feel that oneness with this presence. We know that we are in the flow of spirit, and we're going for that space, that realization of our oneness with the force, with God, with the presence, whatever you want to call it. We do our part, yes. But we're just really going along for the ride as we leave the unfoldment to God and allowing the creative power of the Spirit to take over our life. That's when we're working from the flow. Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist, very much known for his theory of the collective unconscious, has a story about the rainmaker. And in this story, there was a town, a village, that for 5 consecutive years, the village experienced a drought. There was no rain, there was no water. The ground was breaking up and breaking apart. Nothing could grow. Nothing would grow. The people were starving. And their life essence was being diminished because there was no rain. And this village called on many rainmakers, and all of them failed to bring rain. And one day, the villagers heard about a special man who lived in a far distant village. And they asked him to come. They asked him to come to bring rain, and he came. And he stood on the land, and he looked about, and he felt about the land, and on that land he built a little tent. And he entered into the tent, and for 4 days he sat in the tent. And on the 5th day, it began to rain. It poured. The ground was soaked with moisture. It became fertile and plentiful again. It began to bear forth rich fruit. And they asked the rainmaker, what is it that he did? What caused the rain to come? Everyone else had come and they had failed, but he didn't. What did you do? And he responded, I did nothing. I did nothing. When I came, I saw that the village was out of harmony with heaven, and I went in the tent, and I got in harmony with my divine being. And on the 5th day, the rain came. He said, I did nothing. I think he's saying to us today that as we scan our life and see things maybe that are amiss, we see things that are discordant, we see things that are not quite to our liking. We're not here to leap into busyness from an anxious space, trying to make it happen. That's laboring in vain. But we're here to be like the rainmaker. To first align ourselves with heaven, which is ever-expanding good, to align ourselves with wholeness, to align ourselves with the isness of God, and then we will see magical or mysterious synchronicity that takes place. And we, too, can be like the lilies of the field, spinning and toiling not, because we're in the flow. And that, my friends, I believe is what it means to work from the flow of spirit. Peace and blessings to you. Next week, I'll be back. Are you ready to be healed? When you're talking about, now we're talking about healings on not only a physical level, spiritual level, emotional level. There's always something for us to transform, to come up higher. And as I said, if you have nothing in your life that you have any challenges with at all, then please just next week float, meditate, levitate, meditate, float to the front of the room, please, and tell us how you did that. Anyway. If you want some prayer immediately after the service, our chaplains are available. They're wearing the stoles, and they're there to kind of see things from a higher point of view if you have any challenges that you're going through or growing through. Or if you have something you want to have just amplified as joy. I always tell people, you don't have to wait till you have a problem and you say, oh my God, it's gotten so bad, I got to pray. You can start praying when things are going good. You want that to continue on, or give that more energy, and have that be part of your life. So you can also make that part of your prayer as well. So they're available to pray with you. If you're online and want to connect with us, you can fill out one of the welcome cards, and we'll let you know what's going on at Spiritual Life Center, some of the events that are taking place. And if anyone's here for the first time today, any first-timers today? Any of you raise your hand, any first-timers? Yes, keep your hand up nice and high. Thank you so much for your presence. There's a person there about to give you a card. If you'd like to fill that out, we'll let you know what's going on. We'll keep you up to date, and I believe you're getting the purple ribbon. If you wear that, you get a special Spiritual Life Center greeting. But we appreciate you, we thank you, and we see you doing magnificent things, and we behold the God presence that you are, and as well as all of us that are here today, because we're simply reminding each other of the truth of who and what we are. Regardless of what they say in the outside world, we're getting bombarded by the news. We know that we're expressions of the divine, and we're here to express that in our world and make that the norm and not the other stuff. Yes. You like that, huh? So anyway, for those who are online that like to support us with your gift or offering, you can do so by simply texting SLC Love to 44321. That's SLC Love to 44321. Or you can go to our website, slcworld.org, and go to the Donate tab, and it'll give you other ways to give, including sending a check by mail, if that's your preference. For those who are present today that would like to give, we invite you to take your gift or your love offering and just symbolically raise it to the heavens, which is always expanding good. And if you've already given through electronic giving or mail, then know that you're in the flow of a spiritual principle that says you can never outgive God. You can never outgive the universe. And as you give out, it does come back to us, perhaps in ways we never imagined and from directions we never thought of. So as we engage in our own offertory experience, let's say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can love somebody while they travel on, then my living shall not be in vain. Hey, it won't be in vain. If I can do my duty as each person ought, if I can bring back beauty to a world abroad, if I can spread the message that my shall not be in vain. We gotta help somebody. Oh yeah, share some love. Woo. Hey, then my living shall not be in vain. Hey, oh yes.
Carol Manson, once again, it's always a pleasure to have you here today. We can help somebody, you know, our living is never in vain. Because whenever we help anyone, we're really helping ourselves because we are one in the Spirit. We bless those who have blessed us with their gifts today, either online or in person, to help provide a place, a container, a destination for those who are seeking to grow, develop, and unfold into their highest potential as expressions of the divine. We're all here to remind one another of the truth of who and what we are, our true identity, that indeed we are the light that lighteth up every man and woman that cometh into the world. This is our true identity clause, and we claim it for ourselves, and we appreciate those who are providing a place for more and more people to know about that truth. We bless those who have left their prayers in the prayer box this day or throughout the week. For we know that all of us from time to time have bumps in the road, challenges that humanly we cannot figure out. So then we begin to let go, let God, and lean on this presence that is beyond words, but has the answer even before we know what the question is, that has the answer before we know what the prayer need is. For we're reminded, as that scriptural reference says, before they call, I have already answered you. So the answer already exists in the divine mind of God. It only deals in spiritual solutions, and our task is simply to raise ourselves to be one with this solution and see the seeming miracles take place. So we're grateful for this presence. We're grateful for our connection to this presence as we go forth doing our part to amplify, radiate, spread the all good. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. At this time, let's affirm our prayer for protection and just embody these words as if hearing them for the first time and know that they are the truth. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. I am. And all is well. Let's sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator
Thank you. Thank you.
My mic is